Brought to you by Penguin.
Ultimatum by Simon Kernick. Read by Paul Thornley. 1. 0725. His whole world collapsed exactly 3 seconds after the door opened. In the first second, her pale, beautiful face peered through the gap, then disappeared as she moved aside to let him in. The next second saw him walking into the cramped front room and, with a rather foolish flourish, lifting up the small bunch of petrol station flowers he'd brought her. And the third was when the man in the hood appeared out of the shadows to his left and pointed a gun at his head, while Mika closed the door, plunging the room into semi-darkness. "What's going on?" asked Akhtar Mohammed in a voice several octaves higher than usual. "Take my money, but—" "Sit down and shut your mouth." Akhtar stole a glance at Mika, his beloved Mika. She was standing in the middle of the room in just a nightdress, her pale skin almost translucent in the dim light, her face set fast in an expression of pure fear. Tears ran down her cheeks, and Akhtar wanted to reach out and hold her, tell her that everything was all right, but the gunman grabbed him roughly by the back of his shirt and shoved him towards the nearest chair. "I said, sit down." Akhtar stumbled into the seat and turned to his assailant, putting his hands in the air so that the other man knew he wasn't going to do anything stupid. He was neither a brave man nor a foolhardy one, and he was fully aware that the only way he was going to get out of here was by cooperating. The gunman stepped towards him and pushed the barrel of the gun against the side of his head. It felt cold and hard, and Akhtar swallowed. Was this some kind of divine punishment for his adultery? If it was, then he prayed God would be merciful. He'd never intended to hurt his wife or his children, nor to bring shame down on his family's head. "I don't want any trouble," he said, conscious of the fear in his voice. "I'm going to give you a task, Mr. Mohammed," answered the gunman in a tone that was worryingly calm. His accent was English, so Akhtar knew he wasn't Mika's pimp. So who on earth was he? And how did he know who he was? Even Mika didn't know his last name. "If you carry it out as instructed, you'll be free to go, and you'll never hear from me again. If you fail to do what you're told, however, I will kill your girlfriend here, slowly and very painfully." Mika gasped. She was still standing in the middle of the room, unmoving, and Akhtar wondered why she didn't try to escape. Then he saw the restraints round each of her ankles, separated by barely a foot of thick chain, and he realized she was as helpless as he was. He gave her a small, hopeful smile, and she stared back at him with those big oval eyes of hers that had so bewitched him in the first place, and he wished by all that was holy that he'd never met her. "And just in case Mika dying slowly isn't enough to motivate you," continued the gunman, still keeping the gun pushed down on Akhtar's head, "there's this." He held out a remote control and switched on the TV. For a couple of seconds, the screen was blank, and then an image of 2 people having sex on an unmade bed appeared. The woman on all fours facing the camera, the man kneeling behind her, his eyes closed. The gunman pressed another button, and the couple began moving frantically on the screen, their joyful moans filling the room. Akhtar cringed as he recognized himself. Had Mika set this all up? Had she hidden a camera when they'd been making love? He looked up at her, and she shook her head silently. This was nothing to do with her. The gunman switched off the TV, and the room fell quiet once again. "I have more than an hour of footage taken on 3 separate occasions, showing you in various acts with Miss Donovich here. All of them as explicit as this."
Sample complete. Ready to continue?